Welcome everyone to Author's Corner. I'm your host, Toyin Umesiri. This show is brought to you by Kharis Publishing, and it's a platform where we showcase authors from around the world that have incredible stories that they are sharing with the world. Today with me is Miss Veronica, and I'm super excited for her to share her story. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for giving me opportunity to talk about my book, to say about my book something. I'm really excited.
I'm looking forward to also learning more about, why you wrote the book, the story behind the book, the story of the book as well. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about you and also the title of the book.
So my name is Veronica Braila. The title of the book is Blue House, 10 Years on the Way Home. So the story in this book is a story of my grandparents. It's a real story. And my mom was the one who was telling me and again, telling me and again and again. She was repeating this story to me. And my dream was always to become a writer. Like I was always finding this magic of reading the book and connecting with authors who they passed away like long time ago, but you're still connecting with them. You still this magic of their message, what they were saying. Like I like to take a cup of tea and take a good book and try to understand what they was trying to say in their book. So for me, this always was a dream to become an author, to give this world, to connect my world with others,
Yes.
So this story is it's not about only the political situation that was like a long time ago. It's also about love, about family, about connection with God, about faith, about patience, about true women and true men who love each other, who build a strong family, and who look at each other through God. Like this, this is very important, like connection, I believe. So it's not about only the story. It's about everything. It's about life.
Wow. Wow. I love how you said it's about life, because real life, in a way makes a great story, because oftentimes the world presents a type of life that is just glamorous and, the glitz and glam, but they never share the behind the scenes, the story of connection, the story behind the scenes. So I think your book being able to go deeper into the origin story of your grandparents, as you shared, and how they connected, and even through your own eyes, seeing how their own decisions and the life they lived as now, in terms of, connected, as you connect with their stories and who you are because of their story as well. So set the stage for us, where you're originally from, and this book, what country, time is it set in?
So this book is from USSR, when the Stalin was like the commander of, this book it's like when was hard time for people about the collectivization and how they was was taking from people what they accumulate for years, and was unfair times when they let's say they accumulate lands, and they had like farms, and everything was took it from them unfairly, like everything. And if they was trying to say anything like to government, this is like to fight back. If they was trying to fight back, was punishment, was like they was sending to Siberia without anything. And everything what was they accumulated was giving to the collectivization. To the sorry.
Bless you. Yeah.
So yeah, So it's about my family, how they went through this through these times, like hard times. How was took it everything from them, and they was send it to Siberia without anything, with 3 kids, and they took 10 years to come back, and also
Wow.
lost they lost each other, like they all was separately, all kids was separately, husband and wife was somewhere else, and how they get together, and what they helped them to keep their conscience, and healthy. So in the healthy state, and this was God, of course. So yeah, I connected this book with God a lot. Like me, I'm from like a small country, Pridnestrovye it's called. It's between Moldova and Ukraine. It's very small country. Yes, and like my parents, they never told me like about God or go to church or pushing me to pray, or they never say nothing. The only thing I saw that every time like they went through hard times, they were saying like, "Oh God, please forgive us," like and every time they was happy, they would say, "Thank God for giving us this. This is But I believe everybody is coming to God and their way. Everybody has their own trail to come to God. So I went through a few times in my life to like hard times that that I put in this book actually. Like when you're fighting with your conscience and existence of God, and the same thing. The same thing I have in the book. The main character, when he was coming back to his wife, when he was searching for his wife and his family, also in his way back, he was with another person who was atheist. So like there is a part of the book where they was fighting. The atheist was telling him that God doesn't exist, and he was still insisting that praying and focusing on the way back to see his family, to find his family. And the atheist was telling him like, we just saw it, how a wolf ate a kid in front of us, and you still believe in God? Like we go through so much darkness. There is no God existence. Looks like nothing happened. Like even the birds sat back on the trees, and nobody see nothing. But the child was eaten, the kids is dying, and so much blood, so much hard time. But he always was like avoiding absolute everything, avoiding. Like everywhere. It's like if somebody was telling him that God doesn't exist, he was taking this as like evil talking to him. So he like every time he was like, no, I still believe it, this is evil, like I help you, you my friend, but if you say this, it's a evil talking through you. So he was avoiding and convincing this atheist guy to convincing him there is something, there is like, so he was fighting with his conscience on believing, on still believing, doesn't matter, it's like how hard it is. Sometimes we have this like when you go through hard time in your life and you're saying like, what, God doesn't exist. I don't know, like I don't know if you experience that, but sometimes, like let's say somebody you love passing away, so you have this like fighting with your conscience, like why like this, like I don't like what's happening, it's very bad. So in this situation, I believe God is in this part when you still praying, when you still fighting with your conscience, that it is how it's supposed to be. The life is like this. We have to accept this. So this is making us growing. Like every time you're going to the deepest part in your soul, like you're going like empty, like the darkest part in your soul. Every time you're going there, like down in your soul, like you're very disappointed and everything, and you feel empty. Every time you're climbing back from this like dark place in your soul, every time you're climbing back with a treasure. It's God and wisdom, and you're walking with this.
Mm.
So I believe this, like, I put a lot of this love of each other, praying. Doesn't matter if it's bad, you're still praying. They was
Mm.
praying for finding each other, for moving forward, and even was even worse and worse and worse. And situation wasn't changing for 10 years. Was bad for 10 years of patience. So
Wow.
I put this like the even what I put in the book. It's good for any times, not for
Mm.
those times. Even now, I could
Wow.
look at wars of this blood, of these kids dying, of
Wow.
this, like we don't understand, like I don't understand some of the people, like why they react like this. Why? Because we have to enjoy life. We
Wow.
have to love each other. Doesn't matter who cares what religion. Like, who cares? It's everything what's connecting us. It's like it's a God, and it's respect of each other, and
Wow.
treat a human as a human.
Wow.
Because in the end, we always need somebody to be by us. Like,
Wow. This
yeah,
is so deep. This is so deep. In a way, the story you took time how to write, which was of your grandparents, in a way, when we also see what's happening in the world today, you can see that there are places right now and the world, right, where there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of pain, families being disconnected, so many things happening in the world. And so as I'm listening to you, and the core message in your book is still God exists. Pray, love one another, keep believing, don't give up. The darkest of times can still reveal God. No matter how dark it is, God is still there. Don't believe that God doesn't exist. Don't denounce God. So I think it's a timely message, right? I think the message you've put in your book through the stories of your grandparents, I think it's timely for this moment. Yeah. When did you write this book? And when did you publish it?
2 years ago or a year.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, a year ago. Or, yeah, a year ago I published it. Yeah.
Plus, yeah, it's wow. And I would say the core message, definitely, I want to encourage you to just keep that message of keep believing, believing in God, holding on to believing in love, no matter how dark it gets, no
Yes.
matter what we see out there. This is not the time. We actually need God more now than ever before. Would you agree with that?
We do, and it's like it's always, like I said, it's fighting with our conscience because I believe it's always a fight between darkness and light.
Mm,
People don't like a lot of people. I paid attention. They don't understand this. They don't believe in this.
mm,
But like every time it's something, and it's somebody that's gonna tell, even like your best friend. Let's say you have your best friend, and your best friend can tell you like, oh, here is not right, but you're doing right. Or let's say you're trying to bring the message about the God, and they can say like, oh, you um like
mm,
like I don't believe in this. You look at this war, like these kids are dying, and this
mm,
everybody has to go through what they have to go. God is calling us. Um, for somebody is calling him 15 years, somebody 20 years old, somebody 30 years old, somebody 4 years old, somebody in the end of the life. God is calling you. Even
mm,
like I experienced this, like um, when you forget about God, when you go through hard times, and or sometime even everything is good. You're
mhm,
like, oh, everything is good, life is perfect, and you forget, you put this aside,
mm,
you say like, oh, God exists, thanks God, but no, you have to be totally connected, and God is calling you, and when God is calling you, it's very hard. Like in this book, they had like the family, they had everything. They had
mm,
land, they have family, they had love, they had so the message of like, if you positive is gonna come positive doesn't work. Like a lot of books are written like, think positive, you're gonna have positive life. No, you can think positive, have positive life, but if God wants to call you to Him, He's gonna give you so big lessons. lessons and
Mm.
trails that you have to take and you have to go through it. And if
Mm.
you don't come to him when he is calling you, when he's telling
Mm.
like this is the road, you gotta take this road to me to understand me.
Mm.
And if we're not taking
Mm.
this road, these trails, we're gonna end up like if we backing up and we don't want to come to him, all our life is gonna be just miserable if we're
Mm.
not gonna take this trail. You know what I mean?
I yeah, for me, I see, being with God as the safe place to be anyway, right?
Yeah,
And outside of God is where there's no safety. So it's not
yes,
necessarily that God gives trial, is that, Jesus came to give us peace, peace that surpasses all understanding. And many people may not realize that peace is very expensive.
this is the
Many
thing.
people
People don't realize this.
people
They
don't
don't want
realize
to
that
listen. Yeah,
for a nation to be in peace, for people to be in peace, for families to be in peace, is that, even spiritually, Jesus fought for peace. If he fought to bring us a certain type of peace that he says will surpass all understanding. So in a way, peace is worth fighting for. and
yeah.
and being with God is the safest, most peaceful place to be. And in a way, look at the world
And
anyway. I
psychologically, you healthy. You healthy psychologically. Look how many
mm,
mental people are sick. They
mm,
going nowhere, and they don't understand what's going on. They fighting for
mm,
nothing, absolute for
mm,
nothing.
mm,
And it's like psychologically,
mm,
like it's mentally. I mean, mentally, it's very good. Even
mm,
mentally, if you don't have a religion, you don't want to believe in God, just think about this. Mentally, it's healthy, like you said. It's peace. It's peace
mm,
that He is leading you in the right direction and He is with you. So yes,
mm. That is quite interesting. The idea of just believing in of itself, the act of believing in
yes,
God in
yes,
of itself brings a certain type of internal stability,
yes,
and not believing displaces us.
yes, yes. It's
That is
mentally healthy.
wow.
Keeps you healthy because a lot of things are going on. So
Mm.
if you believe, you're mentally healthy. Because if you're gonna go and if you imagine without God, I know you believe in God, so it's very hard for you even to imagine, to
Oh,
without.
right, right. It's like the
But imagine you don't
anchor,
have Him
right?
and everything it's happened. Yeah, yes.
Right, because it's
How
like an
scary it
anchor.
is. Yeah.
Yes. There's a Bible verse that says, like, because this is like an anchor for your soul, because there's a verse that talks about, two houses that are built. One is built on a rock, one is built on a sand. When they are exposed to the same elements, to the same weather elements, one stands, the other, right? The foundation is eroded. So in a way, believing is an anchor that keeps you secured, because when things happen, you know because that's why, in a way, what you're saying makes sense. Like, believing in of itself offers internal stability, and not believing displaces people, creates a lot of chaos, internal chaos, because if you don't know who is holding you, if you don't know that there's so much more happening that you cannot control, but there's someone that can control external forces, right? Then that rest, that peace, right? It's like, I've never seen, like, the way you're explaining it, it does make sense in terms of the internal fortitude, even that humans were made to enjoy by believing in their creator, by believing in God. So, I mean, just so coming back to your book, I say again, this is a clear message for our times. And so, even though it's set through your grandparents' story,
Yeah.
and of love, and of life, and of finding each other, you also talked about 10 years apart, the struggle, the believing. I think it's quite inspirational. I think it's quite inspiring. And the message you're bringing, definitely, I pray that people can lay hold on that, of that key message. So, do you do speaking in churches, or do you speak publicly on this story?
No, no, for me it's so hard. to do.
Why?
I'm very worried, and I'm like nervous, and I'm not gonna sleep. And so no, I'm not. But I'm not. But I understand. Like this is my understanding, and I see myself peaceful in this way.
Mm,
And that's what I want people to understand too. To
mm,
understand that, like, you have some time to fight with conscience.
mm,
This is very important because it's so much information, and information that we don't need, information that's damaging us, information that's like breaking us. You're not focused on family, you're not focused on happiness, you're not focused
mm.
on peace.
Oh,
Always something every day the news are telling you this happened, this is coming, this is coming, like you know.
wow.
Yes. So
Wow. This what you just shared is so important. Like you said, there's information we don't need. And you also talked about us focusing. We need to focus on the things that really matter, right? We are
because
this.
life is short, and we have to do right things because if we do big mistakes, we go too far, and it takes years to go back on the trail, to get to the
Mm,
healthy mental state. So
mm,
it's better to not make mistake, to enjoy it, to take care of like close person to you, to take
mm,
care of your family, to
mm,
focus on your neighbor, even to to share the
mm,
fresh baked cake, or to like like simple things, not
mm,
to going like for something that doesn't even belong to you just because people around are talking, and to find yourself through God,
mm,
through to understand God. I'll tell you another thing. To understand God is not easy. To pray,
mm,
even to pray, is not easy.
mm,
Like when you're trying to focus on prayer, my sister, she always telling me, because she's more into God, more into prayer. She knows Bible very good. She's every day she's telling me a part of the Bible, and she's
mm.
explaining me. She's calling me, oh, I found here, let's talk about this part in the Bible. So she's like very into God and Jesus. And so she always telling me one thing, one important thing. Before
Mm.
you start to to read the Bible, pray to
Mm.
understand. She say,
Wow.
pray to understand the Bible.
Wow.
She keeps repeating me this, my sister. She said, because sometimes, even when you enter the church, or like, and you're trying to understand God, pray to understand what the priest is saying, what the message is trying God to send it special for you. Because
Wow.
you're going to church and you may not, like my friends, like, oh, I don't understand. Like, okay, like what he's saying. No,
Wow.
you don't understand. You have to pray to understand God. You have to ask him to let you to understand him. And even the Bible, like sometimes you open and, oh, what's the message? What's the message? But the message is for you, but because you're not open for it. Your heart is not open for it. Your mind is not open for it. So
Wow.
this way, some people, they don't understand because they didn't pray before they try to understand. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
I do. It's wow. This is I mean, this sounds simple, but it's profound.
Eh,
That even the concept of God, understanding God, is not something we can approach with our own limit. Like what you're saying is so powerful, because when we think about the Holy Spirit also helping us understand, leading us into all truths, is that
yeah,
God Himself is the one that can draw us close and help us to find Him and know Him. So this is so profound, because when, to your point, many people would say they don't understand God, and even many people that are not getting closer to God, maybe simply because they really don't understand God, right?
yeah,
They don't understand God, so instead of trying to understand Him, they've taken a stand of saying God doesn't exist, simply
yes,
because they don't understand. Because when you do know God, because there's a scripture that says, we must actually believe that God exists and that He's a rewarder of those who seek Him. And so that's seeking, through prayer, through reading the Bible, through exchanging, like you said, your sister, sharpening you and sharing with you our own revelation of God. That in of itself, I think what I'm also hearing is we need to prioritize that. We need to give time to that. That there are some, you said some information we do not need, but there is information we do need for our own well-being. And maybe we need to just shift more time towards seeking God, seeking to know Him, asking Him to help
Understand,
Him grow
yes,
up
to
as well,
understand him, to
to
hear him,
understand.
to understand him, and
Wow.
to pray sometime. Like why I said it's hard to pray, because praying itself is like connecting to something magic. Like you have to believe in God and talk to Him. So basically, what people they used to talk to somebody they see, they can touch it, they can
Hmm.
But here, when you like, let's say you pray to God, you talking to somebody that you have to believe first
Mm.
that of existence, and you believe truly. Is not like oh, I don't know, he exists or not, but I'm gonna pray for it. No, it's gonna be empty. You're not gonna feel nothing. But if you
Mm.
truly believe of this connection, you're gonna be fulfilled of so much happiness, so much
Mm.
energy, and your things is gonna go well. You're gonna have like good relationship with everybody. You're gonna succeed when it's true connection, when you're true believing and talking to him.
Wow. Well, and I
You
feel
know what
like,
I mean? Yeah.
yes, and I really feel as we're speaking about believing, if someone is listening to us right now and is struggling with believing, it's really simple. You can just, all you have to do is calm yourself, right? Find a
Yeah.
quiet place and just whisper, and you can even say, God, I believe you. I want to believe you, or even help me believe you,
Oh,
right?
this is the thing. First, pray to open up.
Open up.
To him to open up to you. He's
Mm,
opening up to you, so you have to pray
mm.
for this first. Yes,
Wow.
this
God, help me see you, help me know you, help me hear you, help me believe you, help me find you.
this is the first prayer. This is the
Mm,
first like people have to do before they want to feel something magic, because it's magic. It's
wow.
magic when you have somebody who is there for you in your future, in your present, and everything that happened to you in the past was a test for you to open up for him, to understand him, to believe in this eternal life. Can you believe in eternal life? We have this like magic in us. This is
Mm.
amazing. This is like, imagine you doing things and you're not scared because he's there for you. He's like
Mm,
heaven father. He's a father for you. So yes, so that's what I tried to give in the book too. Like I tried to give people to understand, to focus, because the things around are going and are bothering, and the evil, it's always evil doesn't let you do good things.
mm,
Never. He doesn't like, the devil doesn't like you to do good things.
mm,
You do good things, you're gonna pay for it. Like with the bad friends, with like judging, with like everything is gonna happen to you around. But
mm,
you have to understand this is not mine. Mine
mm,
it's what the message I'm trying to give to people. It's
mm.
my connection to God. And
Yes.
if somebody is judging me or is telling me that like I joined some
Mm,
whatever like organization that we've like to bring people, and you know how like people talking about this,
mm,
I don't care. It's my message. It's my feeling. I feel good with this. I'm going through this, and it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's always a fight. Like we paying
mm,
for good things, we're paying for bad things. It's never like we never left by ourselves in like nice
wow.
flow. It's never nice flow. Life is
Wow.
not easy. It's not easy. It's interesting. It's magic.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
in starting to wrap up, there are key messages here. Love one another, right? Believing
Self
God.
confidence. Self
Yes.
confidence is a gift too from God.
Yes. Yes. Believe God, right? No matter how dark it is, keep believing, holding on to family, the things that really matter, prioritizing fellowship and with God, prayer, principle of prayer. You shared yours, reading the Bible, praying before reading the Bible.
Pray before reading, pray before
Yes,
understanding
and
God.
yeah, and opening your heart, opening your heart, your soul to the concept that God exists, God loves you, and inviting him to help you know him more. And really, if there's someone watching and you've not given your life to Christ and you do want to do it, you can really just follow that principle of opening yourself and asking God to come into your heart, to reveal himself, and you declaring that you believe him and asking him to continue to show you how he wants to walk in and through you. So any parting words, and also do share your book again, the title and where people can find your book. And if you have website or any type of programs that you would love people to connect with, do share that as well.
Yes, so my book, you can find it on Amazon. It looks like this, Blue House, 10 Years on the Way Home. And Amazon, and I have a page on Facebook too. So I have a page in Instagram too. So who wants to? And Facebook, I post like the quotes from the book, and yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us on this show. I mean,
Thank you.
This has been really deep, right? You know, we talked about life, the real meaning of life, and I just pray that, you know, we all as a society come back, you know, putting our collective humanity together, fighting for peace. Peace is expensive. It's very
And insist on your way, insist on your focus on your things. It doesn't
insist.
matter. Everything around doesn't matter. Everybody have their own trail, their own road, and
Right.
insist on you.
Not
On
to
your
be
path.
distracted. Let's not be
Don't be
distracted.
distracted.
Let's
Yeah.
come back to the things that really matter:
Yeah.
family, love, peace, and joy. So I want to thank you, Miss Veronica, for joining us today, and others
Thank
that
you.
have watched. I hope you have a great time, and it's happy Thanksgiving to everyone as
Yeah.
well.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
Thanksgiving.
And thank you to Kharis Publishing as well for presenting this show. God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. God bless you too.
Thank you.